On this episode of Driving with Sage, I am in the Panera drive-thru waiting on my sandwich and my drink. And so I wanted to come on because I've been having a lot of people recently ask me if I do love readings or like twin flame readings. And I always say no, because as an Akashic record reader, I'm looking at people's soul contracts, like you and your higher self, or you as a higher self, the highest self of this incarnation before you got here, was like, I'm going to meet all these people and have all these different experiences and learn all these karmic lessons and heal all these things and help all these people. But when I am looking at somebody else's soul contract, that's impeding on their free will. Okay, because they got their own experiences and their own perspectives and their own lessons over here. So I never really feel comfortable talking about other people that are in your life. What I can do is look through your perspective per that person. So through your lenses of how you are viewing and interacting with that relationship. But even saying that, I can only tell you what you need to do energetically to shift to your most optimal timeline. So sometimes that timeline does not include that person. And sometimes it does, but you can only change things within yourself, and then the things around you shift. And sometimes that's, you know, they come along for the journey, sometimes not, but it can only be through your eyes. And that is how the Akashic Records is supposed to work, however. Okay, so there might be other type of readers that can do those type of things, but that's not my area of forte. Also goes for the same thing for like pregnancy readings. I don't do that because it also involves another soul contract. Now I have done a couple readings for people that were pregnant, and the baby actually gave me permission to read their soul contract because they had to tell their mom something. But even that was like very short. It was just like 1 or 2 messages that needed to come through. Or sometimes I will have past loved ones come through, but it's for like very specific things to help you get on your most optimal timeline, but it always has to do with just you. I'd love to hear in the comments what your thoughts are, or if you have any questions. And again, this is not me saying like other people that do those things, like that's cool and fine. But for me, it's just not something that I'm able to do in the Akashic Records necessarily. And that might be something that I've even like decided, you know, that I don't want to do. But from what I've seen with the records, we're only supposed to be reading the person that we are speaking to. I will also say, so you can actually read the Akashic Records for lots of different things because everything has consciousness. Like you could read a rock, you could read a building, you could read a lake, you could read your apartment, you could read your pets. However, you also have to ask their permission to do that. like I couldn't like read your pet without asking your pet's permission. or you have to ask the lake or the tree's permission. So you have to be able to energetically read and hear them to get that information back. Or sometimes it's like a feeling. But with people, very complex. Okay? And even with like dogs and things like that, your pets, like I've read 2 of my dogs at Akashic Records, but then my other dog, I asked her and it was like a very no. I also haven't read my son's records because that would be impeding on his free will. Right? So anyway, let me know what your thoughts are if you have any questions.